Hey, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Conversations with Creators.
We're back.
Yeah, I think we about to take this show on the road. We about to take it on the road. You know, we about to be in a city near you. Um,
The
and we want y'all to
space,
support. We want
creative
y'all to
space.
support. Exactly. We may host some creator events.
Mm.
Like we gotta think global with
I
this.
think that sounds pretty good.
That sounds dope. But look, I am GS Remarkable and I have here with me.
Kiana, aka She Speaks Visuals.
Hey, and today is we're gonna talk about something really interesting. To me, it is. Um, we're gonna talk about the difference between an authentic creator and an inauthentic creator. I
Mm.
think that's an interesting subject in our space.
It is.
You know, because I immediately think about. You know what I immediately think about?
What?
Copycats.
That's true.
Copycats.
Copycats. Um,
That's all they do. Like they don't do anything original. Everything is an emulation of. And it's a thin line between that because I know starting my career, I had a lot of success in emulating. What I did was I emulated big brands.
hmm
Like when I had my client projects and they needed ideas, I used to go to like if I was working with a retail brand, I'll go to like Dolce Gabbana
hmm
or like Polo Ralph Lauren, and I'll see what they was doing and I'll emulate that. One of um, my business partner William Boston, I did a promo for him years ago. It's literally to this day one of my best productions.
hmm
But I copied a Nike commercial,
Right.
you know. But that was in a time period where I was trying to elevate my game. I
hmm
needed like mentorship, so to speak, in the
Right.
creative space. Um, but now I'm just totally, I come up with my own original ideas and concepts and stuff.
What do you think it takes to come up with those original concepts and ideas?
I really think it takes you to broaden your frame.
Mm.
Like your frame is your experiences, things that you've seen, like with your senses, your sight, what you've heard, the smells, feelings, experiences. That's your frame of what you know.
Right.
When you can like broaden that framework, you introduce different elements into yourself that you like as a creator. You pour that stuff back out on whatever canvas
Right.
it is that you're on. You know.
That's good. I know for me, you have to be authentic as a
Mhm.
creator to be a successful creator. Because
Yeah.
you can be a creator
Yeah.
and not be authentic, but
Mhm.
to be a successful creator, you have to be original. It's okay to look at certain things and be inspired, but don't copy. Or even see something and then elevate it and put your twist on it.
Exactly.
But I know for me that's important, and I think that to be an authentic creator, you have to figure out what your style is. Like it's part of like who you are. Like
Mhm.
what is your identity? What is your art? Because
Exactly.
creating is like art.
It is. It's an art, and it's so many. Like we always say, like creator covers so many different facets and
Mm-hmm.
industries. Um, we were talking about different guests that we want to have on the show, from fashion designers to artists who paint portraits, and
Mm-hmm.
um, it's just so many different walks of creators. Copywriters, like copywriters are really. I'm a fan. You a wordsmith as well, so
Mm-hmm.
you respect
Copywriting is
writing.
goals.
It's like it's so many different forms of art that we have to really. It's so much art out there that it's easy to copy art.
It is.
It's easy to, especially with the type of, we're in a time period where, like a lot of creators, when they want to be inspired, they go right to Instagram, scroll through reels, scroll through, see who doing what, and we get inspired by these things. But I think in order for us to keep from being inauthentic
Mm-hmm.
and copying things that we see, we have to try hard sometimes to put our own twist on it. You know,
That's good.
sometimes you may not even know. Think about
Oh,
it. Think
Lord.
about a time where you've maybe scrolled, you've seen something that inspired you. You went to sleep, you know, for you wake up, go to sleep, you wake up. It's been days.
Mhm.
Then all of a sudden you pop up like, ooh, I got this idea.
Mhm.
That idea may have been something that you've seen somebody
Right.
else do already.
Right.
You know, like and kind of to piggyback off of what you were saying, like to keep yourself from copying what people are doing so that you don't seem like you're not authentic, you have to develop your style.
Yeah, that's important
Hmm.
because your style is like a mix of who you are,
Yeah.
a mix of what you do, and a third mix of what you want others to see.
Hmm.
So that's like important. Like my
Yeah.
style, my photography style is like lifestyle photography and like cinematography like all together. So I
Hmm.
wanted to look like it came out of a film, but I
Hmm.
also want it to be like natural. I want it to be like colorful, a
Hmm.
little bit of commercial, so you feel like you like a commercial. Like
Hmm.
that's important.
Hey, and we gotta understand too that no matter how original we think we are,
Mhm.
it's still nothing new under the sun.
That's true. That's
Like
Bible.
it's nothing new under the sun. Like it's what may be an original thought to us or an original expression has been done before.
That's true.
You know.
Like when you think about like the Harlem Renaissance, because that's what's coming to my mind. Like you think about Langston Hughes,
Mhm.
and you think about all those different artists during that time period who wrote, and all the different artists that painted, that drew,
Mhm.
even like artists. There were probably artists, which I don't really know any off the top of my head, but there are probably artists that created, different clothes and things like that. Like when you think about that, like even think about like our clothes, how this used to be like a style in like the 70s or 80s,
Yeah.
and now it's 2023 and
And
it's
it's
coming
coming back.
back.
And somebody who wasn't alive in the 70s and 80s may see this and it is brand new inspiration for
Right.
them when it's something that has been recycled,
Right.
you know. I think that also adds value to art too.
Mm-hmm.
Like something that was once old can be renewed,
Right.
you know.
That's good. Something that was once old can be renewed. That's a quote.
It can be renewed. Like that was the perfect example, fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Like something the 70s, a 15-year-old designer wasn't around in the 70s. A 20-year-old designer wasn't around in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but he can watch a movie from the 70s and be inspired and put his new twist and think about what he's doing. If a designer, a 20-year-old designer, he sees a movie from the 70s and he's watching the fashion,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna take inspiration from that. He's gonna recreate that design using his frame.
Right.
You know, so it's not gonna be like that designer you showed me. Like, what's his name?
Pierre Moss.
Yeah, and he was that set that you showed me. He was, I guess from the childhood. It looked like he's an '80s baby because I
Yeah.
can tell like
Had
Super
the
Soaker.
he had like he had a little bit of
Yeah, he
everything.
had stuff that I grew up with. Like I recognize everything, you know, that he used.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but he put a twist onto it, you know, a twist. But he's a you can tell he's a very authentic
Mm-hmm.
artist. Let's talk about how do you really know the inauthenticity of an artist?
I think for me, you can tell. Like you can look at content and you can tell if it's genuine or not. Now you have some people who they may copy or they may be inauthentic, but because they have maybe a certain budget or a certain amount of agencies backing them, you're not going to exactly know that it's inauthentic. Like I know with the crayon case where they had some company copied her whole thing,
Yeah.
and then
I remember that.
B Simone when her book came out, it was supposed that some of the work in her book came from another author or blogger off of I think Pinterest or something.
But you know, I think that comes from when an artist feels the need to please the people versus
That's good.
because when I create art, like I've been an artist in different places. Like I've done music, I've had a music career, I've done poetry, Now I work with the camera on a lot of different things, and on each canvas, I literally, I'm the first fan of it.
Mhm.
Like I really don't. I create it for me. I create it for my eye and what feels good to me. Like, and even if it succeeds or if it flops, it's okay because I received it.
Mhm.
I can only imagine. Like I hear a lot of stories about what's the online clothing company
Fashion Nova.
Fashion Nova, how they'll go and they'll grab different smaller people designs and put it
Yep.
in there and recreate it.
Or even like you got Fashion Nova, Forever 21,
Oh yeah,
and then
they're really
there's
big on that.
another brand, Rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at their like just look at their selection of clothes, they're all picking from the same
Mm-hmm.
thing.
And you gotta think about those people that's doing that. They're in jobs.
Mhm.
Like they have someone on top of them expecting them to deliver,
Mhm.
and they have to like meet the demand. So it's pretty much taking the passion out of the artistry. It's taking the authenticity out of their art. Even if I'm not sure if those people are creators or not, if they're just they probably are hired to be a creator of some sort.
Mhm.
Um, but they have to please the people.
Right.
They have to please the company. So they're coming from a different level. So I think that's one thing that we can kind of highlight when it comes down to being authentic. Who are you trying to please?
Mm.
Like Jay-Z has an album. His first album. I'm a big Jay-Z fan. I grew up listening to him. Yeah, his first album was called Reasonable Doubt. And I remember in an interview he was talking about the album, and he was saying I made, and that's one of his most classic albums. Like, but he said he didn't. He said he made that album for him and his friends. That's it. It's probably why the album is so great. Like he made it with, and it could have either succeeded or flopped with the people, but I think that part of success with art is the fact that it's so authentic.
Mhm.
It doesn't necessarily have to. It doesn't have to fit because art doesn't fit any type of checklist. You
It
know,
doesn't.
it's like we can feel how raw it is
Right.
from the artist that we receive it a certain way.
Mhm.
And that was his thing. He was like, I made this for me and my friends. Like, y'all just happen to like it. But I think we like the fact that it spoke so authentically to who they were.
Mhm.
And our art is like that. Our art speaks for who we are. Our art is our personality. It's our emotions. It's our thought process. It's our skill set and creativity. It's all this stuff wrapped up into here. Here you are. Like your photography, the reason you lean towards the style that you lean towards, because it's actually an expression of who you are.
Mhm.
And
I agree.
people receive that. I think that our emotions receive that. Like we can feel that energy from art pieces, whatever type of canvas is on.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That is good.
Mhm.
So, in regards to authentic and inauthentic, do you have any tips for somebody who may feel like they have inauthentic creative habits
Mhm.
and they're wanting to go more authentic?
Yeah, what I would do, um, is definitely one what we talked about earlier. Find your style.
Mm-hmm.
Um, two, I would like put blinders on. Like, don't look at anything.
That's good.
Don't get off of social media. Um, Different places where you pull inspiration from, cut that off. Like, literally put blinders on and create from there. Sometimes inspiration can be our biggest it can be our biggest hold up.
That is good.
Cause then we're comparing now.
Mm-hmm.
We take our work and we compare it to this, and that right there now is not there no more.
Mm.
It takes out the authenticity of it. You know, I know a lot of times, and I'm writing a book called The Creative Spark: How to Have a constant flow of ideas. it's for business owners, you know, because I work with a lot of business owners, and having ideas is something. Like all my friends, my friend called me last night, 12 o'clock at night, one idea, but I'm used to that now. And then I had to notice I've been like that for a really long time. But that made me. I'm like, so what? I always have ideas, even when I work corporate. Like them people used to run. Them white folks used to run to me like, you know, they want ideas. Like they want what's the next campaign. You know, they want me to come up with the campaign, and I had to step back and look like why, like how do you keep is like I know we did an episode on you know, creators block. I really don't. I haven't experienced creators block. Like I probably once in my lifetime, and that was honestly because I was going through, you know, emotional stress. You know, but if I'm cool, is no such thing as
It's
that.
just gonna flow.
I'm just gonna flow. But I'm like I do certain things to help pour into my frame, my inspiration that's outside of art, because I use real life. Like I'll go when I do choose to go out, I'll go downtown in the middle, you know, at night on a Saturday night. I'm not going out to the bars and hanging out, but I'm going out like going downtown, closing my eyes and like feeling what I hear, like hearing all the sounds and start identifying all the sounds around me, like the car going by with the loud music, the girls over there talking, the street light clicking, the smokestack from the building, cars screeching by. Like I'm listening to everything, pouring life into myself. Then I'll open my eyes and I'll cover my ears, and so it's no sound and all visual. So now I'm taking in all these different visuals around me, all these different colors, and I'll do that like just to keep pouring into my own framework, so that when it's time for me to create art, I have like I have a bucket of pure, authentic inspiration to pull from, and not
good.
other artists, you know.
So basically, it just sounds like taking that time back to rejuvenate and taking that time to allow your creative juices to flow.
Exactly. Once you start pouring, you fill your inspiration up with a bunch of other artists or artistries, you're gonna be pulling from other artistries.
And then it'll kind of be like inauthentic versus where if you're just zoning out, now you might create something that's never been done before.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So that's a few things, you know. Leave us some comments. Let us know if, you know, what do you do to stay authentic, you know. We're not really gonna focus on the inauthenticity. How you say it?
See, now you got. I'm about to do it. I'm about to mess it up.
Yeah,
We're
we not gonna focus on that, because you know that's something that, you know, I think machines do. You know, machines, like even all this AI stuff. How I seen how this AI art works, and I use AI for my business because it helps me. I use the writing portion of it. Like I need writing things done, but I'm noticing how this AI is taking over, and I was researching that, and I see that when it creates an art piece, it searches this whole database, all these different art pieces, and it creates its own based off of millions of other art pieces.
That's good.
You know, it's like,
but then
that's inauthentic.
Really like,
It's
I
not
was just
authentic.
about to say, because is that even really authentic if it's taking little pieces of everything to?
But that's the human part of us. That's the God part of us, like the creator part, where it can't be duplicated no other way. You know, it can't be duplicated any other way. We're creators of our own. A creator, like if you think of even like God type thing, like God wasn't and you know, regardless on what religion or spirituality you are, but the creator didn't have to get inspiration to create this. It wasn't nothing that it inspired. It was just there. It came from a want. You know, the earth, the heavens, the humans came from God wanting something, not from him being expired. So when you really tap into our creator part of us, you know, we're true creators and true artists in ourselves. That's why I'm not worried about, and my friend hit me up, you worried about this AI stuff? Because Canva got it where you can you know, you can put in this and it creates maybe a whole video for you or do this. I'm like,
Yeah, no.
it's not gonna compete against, you know, this heart and soul that we function with.
That's
You
like
know?
saying, like, think about all the factories that they had back in the day that would create.
So yeah, like, don't be inauthentic. You know, you're an artist. You know, grab from what you know, how you feel. Stop
Right.
copying people. You know, don't do that. Cause you
And
copy me, and
it's
I don't
gonna be a
like you.
problem.
Yeah, I don't like you. I don't like you.
No
I ain't gonna like
scrolling up and down.
you. And I see a lot. Ooh, I see so many. I see some. But, ooh, that's gonna be the next one. It's a thin line between inspiring and copying. Like, as creators, do you feel like you inspire others, or are they copying you? Cause that's something I be dealing with. You know, my friend had to tell me, like, if you're gonna be an influencer, you have to respect the fact that you're influencing people.
Yeah, like even when you have those reels where like now they have it on Instagram where you can make a template from a reel. So if you're a person, if you've created this authentic reel, now you know you use it as a template for thousands of others to copy.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about that. That may be the next episode. But listen, it's been a pleasure having you sit with us and listen with us, and we want you to engage with us, talk with us, let us know how you feel about the episode, give us some feedback. You have any last words for him?
No, just bring peace, give peace, be authentic, be you, be free.
Be free. Hey, it's another episode of Conversations with Creators. Till
Bye,
next
y'all.
time.